We'll solicit your indulgence as we wait for a third person to arrive, and that way we can take some actions. So bear with us. Thank you so much. What I'm doing, I'm turning my phone off or on vibrate. That way we can get through the process undisturbed. If you can do the same, I would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Good evening. Good evening. Alrighty. We do have a third council member, but we're going to give her just a moment to get settled, and then we're going to call the meeting to order. Just let me know when you're ready. Good evening. At this time, we're going to come to order. That being said, we're going to call the Town of Mangonia Park special meeting, council meeting. This, of course, is a special meeting. There are a couple of items that we need to address. At this time, we'll have roll call, please.
Councilmember McConnell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Buchanan Webb. Here. And Mayor Alberry.
Thank you so much. So the special meeting of August 11th, 2026 has been called to order. So at this time, again, if you have a copy of the agenda, feel free to follow along with us. So we're going to now go to our town manager and defer as it relates to these items. Okay?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Councilman McConnell, just for the public's knowledge, we're meeting tonight basically because next Tuesday night would be our regular council meeting, and that is the statewide primary. So we had a couple of items that could not wait until our first meeting in September. So with that, Mr. Mayor, under item 2A, we have a request for approval for a contract for bookkeeping and internal auditing services with Alexi Alex Sev. And most of you know, if you've been around Mangonia Park very long, Alexi has been with us several times throughout the years. Most recently, he helped us complete our most recent audit. So he is back with us, and we're looking for council action. We recommend approval for a 6-month interim agreement. And we said 6 months. We feel like there's enough work to keep him busy for 6 months. It does come with, everybody likes to get paid, and Alexi's no different. So we're recommending a monthly fee of $4,000 and a separate fee once his audit checklist have been complete, and that checklist, those items go to the auditor, a fee of $4,000 just for the audit. And then we do have some outstanding either grant or appropriation items that we need attention on, and moving forward we'll need attention on that. And that is a recommendation of $375 per month in addition to the $4,000. Now, Alexi's here. I'll be happy to answer any questions. The attorney has prepared an agreement, and we're just ready to get him started. So I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much. And of course, all council have had the opportunity to review the agreement, and the prospective contractee is here. We're just going to ask if you just stand and come forward in case there's any questions or comments. Alrighty, and this has been thoroughly vetted. And for the record, Mr. Alexev and I have had unofficial conversation that sort of came about by way of another conversation we were having. So just for the record, so minor conversation did have, but I did speak officially with the town manager, and we sort of went through this and we flushed it out. And everything that we talked about, for the most part, is here. So if there's any other acknowledgments or conversations by council before we go out. Okay, hearing none. So at this point in time, to the prospective contractee, you have read through the agreement?
Yes.
Okay, any questions or comments?
That's
Or
correct, yeah, I read the agreement. We worked together back and forward on settlement terms. We came to a conclusion, so it seems acceptable to both parties, and of course, the benefit of the both parties.
Okay, so noted for the record. So with that, any questions or comments by council?
I have a few questions.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
I spoke with Ken yesterday in depth as it relates to this. So I know that we've had, and Lexi, thank you for all that you've done. You're still, all the services that you've provided throughout the
Absolutely
town.
welcome.
But this was advertised hourly. So I think my concern would be if other prospective candidates got the opportunity to submit a contract, something similar, or had the opportunity to present. Because I know you, before we said we normally have to have 3 bids or 3 in order to choose.
Well, just a correction, we didn't advertise an hourly rate. When we were recruiting for the bookkeeper position.
Salary.
We were just saying by salary. Now, this is an interim agreement or a temporary agreement so that we can solicit to get more proposals, so that's correct.
So-
And it would be ideal to get 3.
Yeah, so I was informed that it was 3 months, now I'm hearing 6 months.
That's correct, 6 months. Yeah, from the time that you and I spoke yesterday, I spoke with the attorney and speaking with staff. We have enough work that we can keep him busy for 6 months.
And then when would the other advertisements goes out?
By the first of the month, by September 1st.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Oh, any other council comments or questions? Okay. So just a 30-second bit of information for those who may not be aware. We have advertised repeatedly for bookkeepers. We've hired bookkeepers. They're gone. And one of the things, of course, our auditors went through, there were things that simply were not done. It's a matter of public record in terms of our audit. Audits have been very good, financially speaking, but just a few housekeeping items because we don't have a bookkeeper. It has been very difficult to hire a bookkeeper. We've increased the salary, still have not. So we've gone through the advertisement process and still have not been able to do that. And so through the course of conversation, we thought it best to just bring Mr. Alexev back to help sort of bridge that gap until we can get a permanent person, since he's familiar with the town and the process. So again, it's stated as an interim agreement up to 6 months. If we were to advertise tomorrow and that person came in and accepted the salary and everything else, then we would tell Mr. Alexev, thanks, and now perhaps we can use you in another fashion. So that's just the brief information concerning it. Please correct me if I misstated
No,
anything.
sir, that's correct.
So for clarification, we're not going, because if I'm not mistaken, I read in Lexi's contract where he'll be coming 15 hours?
We're asking for a minimum of 15 hours in the office, and that is aside from the audit work.
Yeah. So I believe what I was trying to say, if someone else had gotten that opportunity or that proposal, would they have taken it?
We have advertised for full-time, part-time. So we had somebody working with us for a couple of months, and while very helpful, that just didn't work out completely. So to the mayor's point, I mean, we've advertised this thing just about every way that we can, and still not getting a lot of bites for full-time or part-time.
Or in office and at home? Was that part advertised too?
So the at-home has to be very limited because of the sensitivity with transactions and whatnot. So that's very limited. That's why we're asking for 15 hours in the office.
Okay.
And we have tried the remote before with another individual, and it was not ideal, to say the least.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Oh, certainly. And then in addition to the fact that this is the town's financial information going out in cyberspace, we wanted to try and minimize any nefarious, not that anyone would, but we didn't want to take the chance of that happening. Okay. So other questions or comments from
So
council?
Lexi won't be working from home, just the 15 hours in office?
In-house.
15 hours in the office for regular bookkeeping duties. Like I said, the audit, that will be separate. And since he's getting a flat rate monthly, I'm sure there will be some things he's doing at home, but with, safeguards not to, I'm sure he will be working some at home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me sort of chime in, and I'll give the floor to you. My position and my understanding is that all work is done in-house. There are times when all of us, through the course of our professions, that we've just, I can need to get caught up, so we work off the clock and just to get caught up, but in terms of the official work hours and performances here on site.
That's correct.
Mr. Alexev, you wanted to correct that or confirm?
Any additional work it's on my time, and with the use of laptop, the town dedicated laptop with all the security protocol, able to review the data, and I have access to the data. So that was recommended by town manager to ask to get a permission from you as well.
Okay.
So that laptop would be taken home?
That is correct.
Okay. I'll let you finish. Okay. So let me be clear, at least my position in my conversations, and this is not to throw shade or anything else, is that we don't give contractors laptops to work at home with things, and so my understanding of the conversation is that all work takes place on site. That's my understanding.
That was my understanding also. And that's why I asked the question the way I asked it. If another candidate had that opportunity to work from home and the office, 15 hours are taken.
No. And keep in mind, too, that contractors are hired by the legislative body. And although if I was going to give a laptop, and this, I'll speak now directly to his character, knowing Alexa like I do, if I was going to give a contractor a laptop, he would be the one. However, just generally speaking, we don't give contractors laptops to work remotely.
That was the issue with the IT professional, and it was worked out prior on a prior assignment, and the best solution was to get the laptop, town provided laptop. There was a few options we considered. Which one of them was come up with my own, but we ultimately reserved with what we have.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Mhm.
So the conversations that we have were for in office. And to be clear, when I say I'm sure that Alexi will be doing some work at home like anybody else, I don't think it's going to be as extravagant as taking the laptop or the town issued laptop home and doing work there. That's what we have talked about. We did discuss that. And to the point of him using the laptop, I'm sure that he is going to have to work in town hall during office hours. So I'm sure the laptop could be in use while he's here, but to council's pleasure, you know, the laptop can stay here. And that's,
Other questions or comments?
Just to add to this, since 15 hours in office, that's the minimum. There would be instances where I'm not in office, and if employee have immediate information, finance-related information, they will be outreaching to me, and sometimes I can provide answer, but most of the time without looking at the info in the database, I'm very limited. So just for the efficiency purpose, would be reasonable to have a laptop in place. And again, I have my own security protocol due to compliance requirements for CPA professionals, but that would be given as special consideration as far as the security.
Okay. Right. To that, and I respect that, to that there may be, as Ken stated and I stated earlier, just within my profession, sometimes I'm up at 1 o'clock at night working on things. My work hours isn't 8 to 1 o'clock at night. It's just that I snowballed and I needed to get caught up, and so I did that on my own time. Right, and so in that context, we understand that things will go outside of 15 hours perhaps, but it's not compensated hours. What we're looking in terms of compensated hours are 15 hours on site, right? And also, as I talk to council members, and I think they kind of get it, that when you set a precedent, you know, it's not for that one person, you know, and we trust you immensely. So I'll speak specifically, but generally, when you set a precedent, you set a precedent. So every contractor that we hire could request, and what do we do thereafter? So for me, I don't believe in setting precedents where you can't control things going forward. So, yeah, so I would hold to the language of the agreement that the 15 hours be internal here at the on-site, right? And then another 10 seconds, and this doesn't pertain to Mr. Alexeyev, but generally speaking, how do you control the number of hours a person is working if they work remotely? Are we going to have our IT person use the black box, they call it, to pull up all of the time and everything that they're doing and see all of the transactions going back and forward? It's just too much work for that to happen. So there's nothing like managing a person when you can see them, right? So, yeah, and so that's just my position. Okay, but again, council will decide what's comfortable for you, and then the actual sort of supervision, if you will, takes place with the town manager thereafter. Okay. All righty, so any other council comments or questions?
No, Lexi, I do trust you and value your services. It's just for clarification. Yeah.
Okay, So if there's no other council comments or questions, you do have the agreement before you. All things are agreeable to the prospective
Yes.
contractee? Okay, so noted for the record. So with that, if there's no other,
So would we, when we go to do a motion, would the word and the verbiage in the contract be edited? Because to my understanding, Lexi's under the impression that he could take the computer home or the laptop home.
So, Mr. Mayor, if I may respond, so I would recommend the current contract nor the exhibit speaks to in-office, so I could revise chapter one, or excuse me, section one of the agreement based on the council's direction to reflect both the in-person working number of hours and also the laptop, if that's the council's pleasure. So that would need to be by motion.
So the person to read the motion would just say whatever Ms. Mady echoes, or,
Yeah, if the council's pleasure is to have the scope of this agreement require the independent contractor to do all scope of services from within town hall and without use of a town, take-home town laptop, that would be sufficient for the purpose of the motion. If the maker of
Okay.
the motion is amenable to what I just said, you could just say as the attorney stated, that's fine.
okay.
any other clarifications or questions?
No, that will be all, thank you.
Hearing none, what is your pleasure? Motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, so move that we approve the motion, the request for approval for bookkeeper and internal auditing service for Alexis Services, with what the attorney has stated, and then within that 6 month that we'll be advertising for the same scope.
Okay, so just a question, I'm sorry, let's see if, see if there's, I have a question. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, has been properly moved and seconded. So as it relates to the latter part of your, of what your motion was, how, you want that in the agreement?
Oh, no, not in the agreement.
Oh, that's just for clarification?
That's just for
Okay,
clarification.
so your motion would be absent of that latter part of it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, it has been.
Thank you for fixing that.
Oh, no problem. So it has been properly moved and seconded that we enter into an agreement for interim bookkeeper services with a Ms. Alexev. As stated in the scope of agreement, with those things there, with the correction, of course, being, or the clarification being a minimum of 15 hours performed on site with no issuance of a laptop. Any other questions on the motion?
No.
Okay, hearing none. Roll call?
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Buchanan Webb,
Yes,
and Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Okay, welcome back. Okay.
Thank you.
welcome back.
Good to have you back. Okay. So with that, we're going to go on our agenda. Our next item is items 3B, and this is a request for permission to park a personally owned RV at the property owner's place, residence as stated on the agenda. And so we're going to go now again to the town manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Councilman McConnell, so this item, as it reads, is a request from a property owner at 1704 Boardman Avenue, and his request is to keep his RV on his property, and I think also part of the request is to have it to where folks can stay in it from time to time. I can let him explain that a little bit further, but I'll answer any questions that you may have. The information to include pictures is in your packet, and I'll just let him come forward and his wife if they like.
Okay. So we're going to call the applicant and just come forward in case there's any questions or comments you may have. And just come forward and state your name and address for the record. Okay, or which whomever. Okay. Okay, just come forward to the mic. Okay, we're friendly people here, okay? So you're okay.
How are you?
Okay,
Felix.
so we know who you are, but just state your name and address for the
Very
record.
happy.
Okay. Your name and address for the record.
Oh, Felix Frias, 1704 Borman Avenue, Mangonia Park.
Okay, thanks so much. Now, stated by the town manager, your request, and we have an application before us, is to have the RV stored on your property.
Mhm.
That would be correct, in
Yes,
short?
yes.
Okay. All righty, so we had some explanation by Ken, I'm sorry, town manager. You want to add anything to the conversation, or?
No,
And
right
the
now.
reason for the request is?
Not right now, I just come and see if you approve. So.
Okay, right. So you want to elaborate on what you want us to approve? Want to tell us a little bit about what you want us to?
No, I just want to make a solution, you know. I can just try make it other, you know, other side. I wanted that in this side because on the other side I gotta make a pool. So, and so I cannot do pool on that side because I have a water line. I got all my cable, you know, everything is in that side.
Okay. Alrighty. I have some questions, but I'm going to see if there's any other council questions. I'm going to defer just to make sure we get all questions. I'll reserve mine. At this time, if there are any council comments or questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do you have the measurements of the RV?
Yeah, this is without the front part is 35 by 8.
So the length of it is 8 foot,
No, 8 foot by
Width.
35. Yes.
Width is
8 wide.
35 long.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 43.
Okay.
Sorry.
43?
How much was that, Felix? I'm sorry.
Okay, so
43
Length.
up
was-
length, 8.
No, that's the width.
No, width.
Length.
Oh, the thing in the front?
From
is-
bumper to bumper?
Up. I mean, from the front is 46.
46, from bumper to bumper? Okay, so the length is 46?
8 by 46. And how high?
Is I think it's 16.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay. That was a valid question. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Mayor, you have the floor.
No, that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other council comments or questions?
Is it gonna be there permanent, or are you gonna use it?
I use on the summer, but this summer I'm gonna go out because I got a lot of work in the house because I buy like 4 months ago, so I'm remodeling the house. So, but probably next year I'll go out to camping.
Any other questions or comments by council?
If I'm not mistaken, I heard the town manager said that you want to be able to reside in it or have family members or someone live in it every now
Now,
and then?
I mean, my family sometimes when they come because you know my house is not ready yet. I have all my bedroom ready, so I live in the house, but I got my brother, and I told him stay there for now because he live in 3 weeks, probably 3-4 weeks. He go back to Texas.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Right, so let me just kind of clarify.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Righty.
He's not.
So let me just clarify. The Vice Mayor's question was as it relates to someone residing there, living there?
No, no.
Oh,
no.
okay.
It's not. It's only like a temporary. You know. I mean, sometimes my mom comes to my house, so she sometimes stay there. My brother now stay there for just for a couple of days, and but it's not for leave. It's for
Okay,
living.
so
You know.
that's not the intended purpose, to have somebody stay there? That's not what's gonna, what you're asking? You're not asking for somebody to be able to stay there?
No, stay like it's just like forever. Like it's just like for maybe a week, sometimes like 2-3 weeks. Now my brother coming to help me in the house, and he got to stay here up to next month. He go back to Texas.
Okay, so let's just say when your brother leaves to go back to Texas, if a family member comes in town?
No, no. I mean, when sometimes when my family come back, I mean, when
Then you-
come from Massachusetts, from New York,
Yeah.
I got a lot of family there. So
Then you would
sometimes when
want
they
them to-
come, sometimes they got to use, you know, I have a lot of family. So all the Christmas time, you know, Thanksgiving, all my family's coming house probably this year.
Okay. All righty. I have additional questions, but at this time, with that information, I'm going to go to our attorney. There is some language as it relates to trailers being used as an ancillary use doing construction. You almost had, I'm sorry, let me go to our attorney.
So your town code deals with travel trailers and recreational vehicles. So there's a portion of the code that says that travel trailers, what it says in your zoning code is at no time shall a mobile home, travel trailer, recreational vehicle, or other similar use be occupied or used for business, living, sleeping, or housekeeping purposes in any residential or commercial zoning district without express permission granted by the town council. The town council is hereby authorized to permit mobile home, travel trailer, travel or recreational vehicle occupancy or use in any residential or commercial zoning district on a temporary basis when the applicant demonstrates extraordinary circumstances. The town council shall set a time limit or other conditions it deems appropriate for any such occupancy or use. My concern is what I just heard the applicant say. Your code also defines a recreational vehicle in Appendix A as any vehicle or structure so designed or constructed in a manner that will permit occupancy thereof for sleeping quarters, blah, blah, blah. But then it goes on to say, such velocities or structure shall have a body width not exceeding 8 feet and being any length provided its gross weight does not exceed 4,500 pounds, or being any weight provided its body length does not exceed 29 feet. So based on what I just heard, I'm not sure that what is proposed actually meets the definition of a recreational vehicle and therefore could be approved by the town council. If it's 35 feet, is that what you said, long?
No, he said
No,
it-
it's 43.
46. 46 by 8 by 16 is what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say like 45, 46, yeah.
Okay, so about 46 long, 8 wide, and 16 high. Okay.
And do you know
16.
29.
do you know the weight of it, sir?
Hmm?
Do you know the weight of it?
No, but I can look at it if you want, you know.
And as I read, the code gives the council authority to approve or to allow these travel trailers or recreational vehicles under what it says is exigent circumstances. So in my mind, that means, God forbid, your house burned down and you had to stage a trailer that you were living in while your house got reconstructed. I think that's the intent of the code. Otherwise, recreational vehicles are not allowed in the town. There is an outdoor storage provision that you all are well aware of, but that's the code as it relates to travel trailers and recreational vehicles.
All right, thanks so much. Just before we continue, let the record reflect that Councilwoman Johnson has joined the dais. Right, and that's why I was asking the question that I had started. Now, so let me go to the attorney first, because that was my understanding. Right, when you made mention that, well, my house isn't ready, I'm doing some internal work and so forth, would qualify one of those external circumstances, because it's not, all portions are not quite habitable at this time. But then when you proceeded to say, well, from time to time, and that's, yeah, then it becomes one of an habitable structure. Okay, any other council comments or questions on this item?
It wouldn't be a question, and even if we were to approve it on a temporary basis, because he's still doing construction, it still exceeds the 29, the measurements that's required for emergency or purposes, living purposes.
Right, I think in terms of the approval, and this isn't for or against, just for clarification, we'll go to the attorney. I think in terms of the approval, that would be the requirement the person would have to meet for ongoing approval.
Yep.
Extenuating circumstances omitting?
Yeah, the question as it relates to length begs whether this even constitutes a recreational vehicle under the town code. So if there's an allowance in the town code for exigent circumstances storage and perhaps even occupancy of a recreational vehicle. But if this is of a length and a width and a height and a weight that exceeds what your code defines as a recreational vehicle, that allowance may not be applicable.
Okay. Okay, other council comments or questions? Okay, and of course, conversation is remanded here. It's an action item for council. Any other council comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, we're ready for a motion.
I have one more question.
I'll go right ahead.
How long would it take for you to finish construction? How long before construction is finished?
I mean, it's depends how, I mean, I use contracts sometimes, and sometimes I do my permit. My permit is so fast, but the permit for the for the contractors take a long. Now I'm submitting my permit for my window and my door, so I'm waiting like a month and a half. So I don't know how much time, I'm gonna need to finish the whole house, because it's depending on the process. So now I'm gonna wait for the payment for the drive work. I gotta do that. I do my parking. I gotta put paper, so I gotta submit the permit. I gotta wait for that. You know, everything's like taking time.
So if I'm hearing you right, you do have space in the home where you're living now and sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments by council? Okay. All righty. Just in short, the thing there is that as it relates to the size of it, does not conform to the town's code because of the size of it. Also, one of the takeaways as well is that there are uses, provided that they meet within the town codes for extenuating circumstances, which neither in this case applies, but just by virtue of the fact of the size of it. So that would be basically what we have before us at this point. If there's no other questions or comments, okay, motion, please.
Well, that wouldn't fall under the circumstances. I mean,
That's for Eddie.
Is there something we can do to approve it till he gets his house completed? Or no?
I'm sorry, it's, no. Right, there's, let me just go to the forefront. There are some items, of course, that we open the floor for conversations, and then some that come before us, and, right, so my apologies. Okay, all righty. Okay, I'm sorry, your question was?
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
it. I mean, is it possible to do a special exception just till he gets his house done?
The response, and then I'll go to the attorney, would be that we could, because of the situation, as he stated, he's doing construction, it would be possible, but however, it doesn't conform to the code because of the size of it. Is that correct, Amity?
And he did say
That's,
that.
yeah, I would tell the council that your code says a recreational vehicle should not exceed 29 feet, and this is 46 feet in length, so.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we have that provision in the code. Okay, other questions or comments?
Pardon me for just coming in on this, but was unavoidable. But I would like to just find out before the vote is taken. Is there, the request is being made for temporary use of the facility? And the concern is that the size of the RV is even outside of the code, so that means we can't even make an exception for temporary use? Is that what that's saying?
Not unless you want to violate your code. I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what I just walked in on.
All righty. Okay, so with that.
And if
any
I'm
other-
not mistaken, he didn't ask for temporary. He wanted it to be permanent. Then he has someone that's living in there now. And when that person leaves and go back to Texas, ongoing, when family members visit, they'll be staying in there.
On occasional visits?
Yeah.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may add, just so Councilwoman Johnson is aware, the code says that because it's occupied, the council can grant approval for the RV to be there and for it to be occupied, but what the code says is under extraordinary circumstances. So the example that I gave to the council would be, God forbid, your house burned down and you needed to bring a travel trailer on site so you could live on your property. That I think is what's contemplated by the extraordinary
I got you.
circumstances portion of the code. So it's not just the run-of-the-mill relatives are coming, it's an elevated standard.
I got you. Okay.
Any other questions or clarification needed?
Well, the other thing is, if it's too long, then he's not gonna be able to store it there at all. I mean, if it's 30-some feet allowed and he's 40 feet, then he won't be able to store it on his property, period. He's gonna have to move it. Is that correct or no?
Yes, the code and the definition of recreational vehicles has weight restrictions, width restrictions of 8 feet, and then the one that's problematic is the length exceedance. The code also says, and we haven't talked about this, but it says, any vehicle, travel trailer, or recreational vehicle parked or stored in any required yard must display a valid inspection sticker, which I'm sure is not a problem, a valid tag, and it says it must be operable and shall be parked in a designated parking space as provided in section 16 of this ordinance. So that would contemplate any travel trailer or any recreational vehicle being parked in a space that is specifically designated for the parking of that vehicle. Which in this case, if it's 46 feet long, is difficult.
All right. Other questions or comments before we call the vote? And and I can understand it from the applicant, if I were an applicant and I'm looking, it's like, I have a big yard and it fits. And so from just an optic standpoint, we get it. There's unfortunate moments where a code may prohibit something that, that we would love to be able to say approved. And so we're taking an opportunity to just kind of talk it through to make sure that if there was anything we might be able to do outside of violating the code. And so we'll see if there's any other questions or comments, because our main mission is always to make sure, number one, public safety is in place, and the general welfare of all of our residents and businesses and visitors, and we try and accommodate wherever we can. So we have sufficient conversation ongoing, and sometimes it falls in a position where the applicant isn't, So with that, if there's no other questions or comments. Okay, motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, so moved that we deny the application for outside storage of an RV.
Motion has been made. Is there a second? Okay. I'll second in order to get to conversation. Any questions on the motion? Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember McConnell,
And just for the council, as she's called the vote, the motion is to deny. So a yes vote would be in favor of denial. A no vote would be in opposition to the motion to deny.
No.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Buchanan Webb,
Yes.
Mayor Alberry,
Yes.
And,
pass.
No.
Councilmember
Johnson.
Johnson.
She joined the dais. Let's see, she's here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Based on the information I've received since being here, I'd have to go with a yes.
Okay. All righty, so the motion, as it relates to the motion, is withheld, is upheld. So with that, we're unfortunately unable to grant the permission. We wish there was something else we could do. We really do.
So, but I don't have no place to parking, so can you stay there for now? I want to sell the house.
Okay.
So I'm gonna finish the house and sell it, because that's my RV, and I just bought last year, and I don't have place to parking. I mean, if I wanna fix the house, sell it, and I can move it.
Okay. And I'll answer your question directly. Unfortunately, the legislative body, we don't tell you, you gotta move it tonight. The town manager and code, of course, and the attorney.
So, Mr. Mayor, that's what I was going to say. Perhaps with the vote being like it is, we could have the property owner and code enforcement discuss that process
Okay. All right, and they'll
and
work
come
that
up
out
with
you.
a solution there.
Yeah, they'll work that out. And so let me just kind of say as well, this is sort of ties to it, so that there's information that everyone is clear. We have approved, right, trailers, right? I was thinking about it earlier today, that we have two situations where we have approved trailers, but they were conforming to what the code says, so. Yeah, and we set that precedent. I say when you set a precedent, okay. But unfortunately, again, this doesn't conform with that, so. All righty? Okay. A sincere apologies, yeah. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so with that, those were the only two action items for the special meeting. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second?
Has been properly moved and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. It is carried. Thanks so much. Just hold on. We'll take a 5-minute break and we'll get right into our budget workshop.
Excuse me, when you say note any person who decides to appeal a decision, you're saying it can't stay there, but you're gonna get with the code, and who's gonna be able to read it anyway? Because I wanna know whether I need to appeal anything.
Okay. No, what I was explaining to him was that the legislative body doesn't tell him, you need to move that tomorrow or next week or 3 months. That's worked out with staff and code enforcement. So there's another process that happens outside of here. Okay?
So that's have to do with the code enforcement.
That happens with administration, who also.
Mr. Mayor, because
includes
you
the-
have adjourned this meeting, it may be prudent for them to speak directly to
yeah,
the town
correct,
manager because
correct.
the meeting is no longer in
Correct.
session. Sorry, sir.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Okay.
he's saying he's
Okay, I'm
gonna-
sorry. According to, the attorney did make mention of the fact that we
Speak
have
with the
adjourned.
manager, please.
Right,
thank you.
yes. Sorry, we adjourned the meeting, so my apologies. Okay, okay, thanks. I kind of went over. Okay. All righty.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. All right, you guys are more than welcome to stay for the budget. I know it's boring, but, okay.
Okay, so John, I'll give him another day.
Okay.
I need to do that.
And they'll
Yeah.
explain the process, and of course, they'll be meeting with him as well. Okay, and our attorney. Okay. Well, thanks. Okay. All righty, you sure you don't want to sludge through it?
You're gonna miss all the fun, Mitty.
I'm sorry, I can't stay. I have to go back to work.
Okay, all righty. Well, certainly you guys have a good evening. Boy.
Mr. Mayor, can I steal you for a minute?
Yes. Okay. We'll call the meeting in just a moment.
I wasn't sure, I didn't know if I was gonna see you today. I saw that last picture of you in the pool. I'm like, oh, she just gonna relax like that.
Where?
The last picture I saw on Facebook of you in the pool, on top of a flotation.
That was the beach. That's at the beach.
Oh, is that a beach picture? Look at a pool. Let me
We're at the beach.
Ready? So at this point in time, we're going to call the Town of Mangonia Park General and Utility Fund Budget Workshop of August 11th, 2026 into session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Johnson,
Present.
Councilmember McConnell,
Here.
Vice Mayor Buchanan Webb,
Here.
and Mayor Alberry.
Here. Thank you so much. We do have a quorum, so at this time, we're going to turn the floor over to our town manager. Okay.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thank you for your time this evening. I'll be brief, but I'll stick around as long as you have questions. So what I would like to do first is go to this document, which is our utility fund. It's the smaller one of the two. Does everyone have two documents?
I only have one.
Smaller one?
I only have one.
I only have this one.
No, just a
I
little.
don't think he has it either.
Okay.
No one has a short one?
Apologies. Nope, have a short one. So with that in mind, we're going to go to the one that I just distributed, the smaller one. So on page one, that is up at the top, it says Town of Mangonia Park Utility Fund Budget versus Actual. This is our revenue, and there are some updates. Some of the things that were highlighted were from the previous meeting, but I will tell you that on the revenue side, we have updated line 6 and 8. We did get some up-to-date numbers as of today, actually. So, and while these are not final numbers, there's adjustments that have to be made as we go through toward the end of the fiscal year. We are upping our collection methods, even to the point of turnoffs and whatnot. So items 6 and 8 have been updated, and they are substantial updates. I think the item 6, I didn't make note of it, but I think that was at 244 the last time we were here. And line 8 was, I remember saying that we were at least, line 8 is at least 100,000 more than it was when we got together 2 weeks ago or whatnot. So that does bring the total up. We are awaiting another reimbursement from the state for this septic to sewer project up here on Bryn Mawr. And we are in receipt of one reimbursement for about 600,000 that has not been transferred from general fund into the utility revenue. So that's where we're at as of today on the revenue side. On the page 2, as we're looking at the expenditure side, couple of changes. Line 23 on page 2, and this is under the water department. Line 23, repairs and maintenance. That number 2 weeks ago was at 35, and I've upped that to 45, and there is some reasonings behind that, and I'll give you the update on that. Line 30, capital outlay infrastructure. I previously had 170,000 there. That was for the first payment of the meters, if we go that route. And as I was looking through some documents Friday, I saw that first meter payment, the payments were actually at 125. So I did lower that, and with that remaining, I did distribute it out in our repair items. Okay, and that's it on the water department. Any questions so far?
So that 125 is an annual payment, it's not a monthly payment?
For one of the companies that we've spoken to, we just got another quote the other day that I haven't really delved into yet. Now, On the meters, if council decides to go with the meters, what's gonna happen is we will have to do a RFQ, request for qualifications, or a ITB, invitation to bid. It will have to be a formal solicitation. But based on the research that Melvin and some of the admin staff have been able to pull, there is one company that offers about they offer either a 5 or 10-year payback, 5 or 10-year financing. And that 125 represents year one. And so it would be 125. This is based on 5 years, this amount, not 10 years.
So that's the annual payment amount.
Annual payment on the financing of meters. Now, on to the sewer. Nothing has changed here. You may remember that we did put in 200,000 for the sewer and water connections up on Boardman, Lakeshore, and West Place. So that's what the 200,000 is there. We discussed that last time. So that's that. Okay. No questions. I'll go on to,
I'm sorry, just before you do, my apologies.
Yes.
On page 2, line 39, when I look at the actual amount that we spent thus far, during this particular fiscal year that we're in.
Yes, sir.
That was 727,000.
yes, sir.
I know we had some projects that we were completing. In as much as we're able, and the part of the budget process is to try and anticipate the best you can. So with that, we don't anticipate any other major projects that we're planning for. I know sometimes things happen, but the planning for, because 200,000 is substantially less.
Right, so, line 39, the bulk of that is for the septic to sewer project. We won't have anything like that this coming year. Now, certainly, we're gonna have things pop up that we're not expecting that could get charged to this line item, but, no, that's 727, the majority of that is your septic to sewer project up in Bryn Mawr.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question.
I'll go right ahead, Vice Mayor.
So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is where we pay for it and the residents paid on their taxes?
The
So
residents
this is the
with
upfront?
No, this is, we get notification of the appropriation, the approval, so we have the contractor do the work, we pay the contractor, the state reimburses us what we pay the contractor. Now, what you're talking about is the second phase to this, where we actually do provide a contractor. That is line 39 for this coming year. That 200,000, that represents what you're talking about for
Okay.
the upcoming year.
Thank you.
We pay up front, and as you say, the property owners reimburse the town over a period of time.
Okay,
Now, to that, if Vice Mayor's finished?
yes.
Okay, to that, we have to show the income that we expect to receive from that line item as well. So we have the expenditure that we anticipated, which is 200,000.
Right.
Do we anticipate that during this upcoming fiscal year, some of it, a fourth of it, third of it, tenth of it, or anything, and where would that be budgeted?
Maybe a tenth, and that would be on page 1.
Okay, under income, we're gonna find it, what line?
Revenues.
Is that gonna be line 8?
That would be line 2.
Line 2.
Special assessment, it should say special assessment.
Okay.
Oh,
That 11,000, that represents some of our previous projects that have come in. And that is broken up into years. The last project, we gave the property owners a 5-year period to repay, and that was a little bit over 60,000 that we had. So if you do the math, the 12,500, so as that stops, we'll start the other. And for the upcoming year, as far as the payback, it's gonna be minimal the first year, and then it'll start steamrolling in years 2 through 5 or 2 through 10, whichever direction council wants to go at. So, to the mayor's point, that 200,000 does get reimbursed. I'll caution everyone that 200,000, that's just kind of a placeholder. We haven't put that out for bid yet, so I don't know what that cost is gonna be.
Alrighty.
Okay, and lastly, on page 3, this is the utility department. Represents all the salaries, all the insurances, workman's comp, all the professional services and everything, and I do have a change. And that change, one change is, I want to go back to this, line 51. That number started out well over 200, but as David and I speak, especially the big expense in that line item is going to be the water permit renewal with the water district. While he hasn't given us that quote yet, what I did find out when we were talking earlier, and I gave council a 175 figure for that, he had also factored in some other projects that we most likely will not be undertaking this coming year. The design of a new well, the design of the water tank, the ground storage tank. So I've subtracted that down to the general day-to-day services that we get out of utility engineering, plus enough in there for what I anticipate his quote to be for the permit renewal with the water district. And as we're moving forward, I'm trying to get that exact. I'll have another conversation with him tomorrow. We have a scheduled call, and I'll see where he's at. I've been promised that number. Other change from last workshop to this workshop, that is in line 55, professional services. Sherry and I gave a concept of something, meaning that it could be a good idea for council to allow us to hire a person that is responsible for the meters, the maintenance of the meters, the replacing of the meters, and also that person comes in and does the admin work in the office. So one person that covers everything utility billing to include the meters. Now, I know some of these meter quotes that we're going to be getting, like this first one, they're, shouldn't say promising, but they're talking about they have the ability to, from their office, know when a meter goes bad, when it needs a replacement part, and they can come out and do that. So, you know, those details need to be worked out, but it still could be possible that we would ask council to give us a person that handles that responsibility, meters and utility billing. Now, that's only part of that. The other part of that is what we've had Melvin doing, you know, and that's acting as a consultant, to kind of guide. We have a big project tomorrow at the water plant. Melvin's been coordinating that from start to finish. Of course, Pierre's been very involved too, but the coordinating, we've got 2 contractors involved. We've got Riviera Beach involved with the interconnect. It's just been a lot of moving parts. So we do see a need to keep some of that consulting services moving forward. So very raw number we put in there is 40,000, and obviously that's up for discussion, and we can go from there.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would this be any extra to the residents? So when we do get this individual to read the meters, do all this other stuff, I'm assuming there's going to be a surcharge on the bills?
Yes, what what staff has recommended to council is a technology fee for the meters. Now that, I'll be honest, we're probably not gonna ask council to adopt those fees, those new rates at the turn of the fiscal year, so we might be a couple of, if everyone remembers, our rates that we have currently did not take effect till January of this year, so we might delay that, but there is the thought of a technology fee.
Do you have any idea what that dollar amount might be? Do you have any idea what that dollar amount might be?
Absolutely, I can get that for you. I don't have it with me, but it's based on residential, commercial, et cetera. I know residential, I think it was as low as like $8 per quarter or something like that. And of course, the larger the meter, the larger the amount.
So as a resident, I'll have the option to get a quarterly bill?
To get a
Oh,
quarterly
A
bill.
quarterly bill?
You know,
I'm
and I know
kidding.
you're joking, but how we bill is totally up to council. My previous job, we billed every 2 months. You know, saved some trees as far as the paperwork, you know. But it had headaches on its own too.
Okay, anything else?
Just line 62, I did adjust that number a little bit up based on the idea that insurances most likely will go up, so that went from 15,000 to 18,000. Otherwise, everything is still the same from the last time.
Alrighty. Okay.
That's all that I have here, and we did not print the proposed rates. If council can give me 2 minutes, I can go print those out and we can talk about that. It's on the agenda, but it's not necessary we do it tonight.
In the context of just the budget itself, does anyone want that information now, or just?
And of course, that was just the utility part of it. We haven't hit the general fund yet.
I have another question, and I don't know, maybe it's not necessary to be concerned about it, but I don't know what our postage is for sending out bills, but I knew August was supposed to be a postage rate increase. Has that been figured in to what you're doing? Just because of real factors on that?
Oh, I don't think so. No, ma'am. That hasn't been taken up. So we should go up a couple of $100 on that at least.
Yeah, I think that'd be safe.
Okay. Good point. But of course, if we're going to take the vice mayor's advice and just go quarterly invoices, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that might scare a couple people, you know. Some people go to the gas station and, you know, they keep the needle at half, so they don't have to see the whole.
That's right.
They see that bill and be like, what?
Yeah,
I
What did
know.
I do wrong?
yeah, okay.
I was kidding when I said that.
Oh, I know, but it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. So,
Certainly. So any other questions on the utility?
thank you.
Okay, and if not, at this time, we of course, will be reviewing and chewing it up. If there's anything else, let's get a hold of Ken. Okay, I'm sorry, the town manager, I'm sorry.
So we'll go to the utility, I'm sorry, the general fund. That's the larger worksheets. And to be perfectly honest, nothing has changed in here. I think it did change the last meeting, but I probably failed to cover it. On the second page, and this is under administration, by the way. Account number 340, contracted services. Goes from 105 to 111. That represents a 10% monthly increase for the IT person. And I would support that. I think there are a lot of moving parts with the IT right now.
I'm sorry, I was doing something else. What line are you on?
I am on page 2, I'm sorry, page 3, my apologies. Page 3, this is under administration, line 340. Contracted service or contract services. The difference in the number is an increase for the IT person.
Okay, so what's that percentage we're looking at, or amount?
That's 10% on the monthly.
Okay.
So he's making 3,000 monthly, that would take him to 33.
Okay. All right, I do have a question as it relates to this, but I'll
Sure.
reserve until we finish, and I'll just deal generally with this
But I
section.
think that's the only clarification that we needed, or that's the only thing that I changed with this go-around. Of course, anything's up for discussion, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. Unlike the utility fund, this revenue has not been updated since the last meeting, so I didn't really touch that. Revenue to expenditures, we're doing quite well on the general fund side. Utility fund, we're scraping by.
Okay. Writing, any questions or comments? Okay, let me take a look at the unpopular thing.
Okay.
Because someone has to, just to make sure that we're budgeting properly. Let's, on page, where are we? Page 2.
Page 2.
Just as information, what is the amount of increase that we're looking at on line 10? What percentage of increase?
On what line, sir? I apologize.
110 on page 2.
No increase. If you recall from last year, the attorney indicated that that would have to be on a referendum.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just want to make sure, because I'm seeing a different amount. We actually budgeted the 392, and now we're budgeting 349.
Let's see, now I think I'm on,
Page 2. Yeah, page 110,
Yeah. This one.
legislative salaries.
oh, under, my apologies, under administration.
Oh.
Yes, under administration.
Okay, so what's involved with that is, that's a 5% increase for everyone, but we've taken the code enforcement officer, moved him to Public Works, as he'll be serving as the Public Works Director. If you remember the conversation about separating the Utilities Director from the Public Works Director, so we did, just for everyone's information, if you missed this, Olson Pierre is our new Utilities Director. We look at Darian Scott to be our new Public Works Director. That salary has been moved to Public Works. The one salary that we had this current year, we had Public Works / Utility Director. That was all under Public Works. Since we've separated the two, part of that money has been moved back over to utilities under the salary.
So let me just kind of go back to the code enforcement / thing.
Public Works.
Right. Now, all department heads are, of course, salaried employees.
That's
This
correct.
is now proposed to be a salaried position?
That
or-
would be a salaried.
Again, I stipulate proposed until everything's all
Correct.
approved. Okay. All righty, so, and just on balance, if anyone else have any questions or comments, please let me know and I'll reserve my questions or comments.
I just wanted to know if Public Works and Code are going to be together. So the Public Works Director is still going to be doing Code?
Absolutely.
So he's the Director for Code and the Director for Public Works?
Well, he's a one-person code enforcement department. So yes, he'll still be doing that.
So he doesn't have an assistance in code? He's just doing
No.
it by himself?
For the most part, I mean, he may get a little bit of assistance from admin on occasion.
So do you think that would be too much?
It's a lot, there's no doubt, but it was also a lot for the utilities director to have public works as well, so, you know. It is a lot, I'm not gonna lie. That's serving as the interim right now, he is quite busy.
And then before he was a one-man code.
That's correct.
So now he's working for a four-person job?
Let's see, Public Works, you'd have the director and 3 people, 2 full-time under there, and then 1 hybrid that would work for the most part under Public Works, but could also be used for utilities also. Now, the Public Works personnel, their involvement in code enforcement, very minimal. Maybe delivering or posting a letter, something to that effect. They wouldn't be empowered to give out violations or anything like that. It's a lot. It is.
Anything else, Vice Mayor?
No, that would be all for now, thanks.
And certainly, before I move on, just to make sure that we're clear, the position that's being proposed, of course, would have the code enforcement officer also supervise public work staff.
That's correct. That's what we're doing currently on an interim basis.
Okay. All righty, other council comments or questions as it relates to this page? Okay. All righty, so now on balance, there's a proposal to do a 10% increase for IT,
10%,
5% for staff.
correct.
Okay. Ooh.
We'll definitely,
Yeah, yes, right. As an employee, I'd probably take exception, that we're going to someone who's not here all the time, and I'm not speaking of persons, I'm speaking of positions.
okay.
Right. We're proposing a 10%, but then a 5% for me, and I'm here all the time. Yeah, I just don't balance it, yeah, the optics of it isn't.
It's a placeholder.
I know it's a proposal. I know it's a proposal.
And that's up for council
Mhm.
discussion, and I'm sure he would be thankful for anything, so I'm
Oh,
not.
certainly. And while staff that's here probably may be saying, yay, that's right, here comes something that may not be a yay. We're in as much as we're able to look forward and budget properly, we don't know what's going to happen in November.
Correct.
Right. And generally, when there's so much uncertainty, we would kind of say, hey, listen, can you guys just work with us? We know and understand. I understand things have gone up, and let me just make it quick, right? So I have no opposition to, as I never do, to raises happening. If indeed we're going to propose a 5%, and I would also say 5% for any increases that we're going to do so that we're equitable, right? Although the actual amount is different, the percentages, of course, is what comes across, right? And if we're going to do that, my proposal would be simply this, that if indeed council agrees that we're going to do 5%, that it does not take place until the 1st of next year. That kind of gives us a little opportunity that, God forbid, if something were to happen, we haven't locked in so early that now we're in a disadvantageous position financially.
Clarification, do you mean, sir, the first of the calendar year?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right, only for that reason. Either that or let's not do a raise at this point until I'd rather be on the side of giving something. But, yeah, half a loaf I always say is better than no loaf, kind of a thing, so.
And I can say the same for staff, that I would, most of our consultants, they'll
Mhm.
be very grateful for whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And whenever.
Oh, certainly, certainly. No, we appreciate all they do. It's hard work, and we appreciate their dedication and daily productivity. We appreciate it, but with such uncertainty coming from Tallahassee, it's just,
Oh, correct.
yeah, oof.
One little bit of clarification, I hope I don't open a can of worms, but if I do, so be it. That number on 110,
Okay,
that 349,500, we did leave the bookkeeper in there. You know,
And what do
so
we budget? I'm sorry. And what do we budget? 70?
70,000.
What
So-
page are we on? I'm sorry.
Still two. Line 110?
110 on page 2 under administration.
Okay, and just to that, I mean, a full-charge bookkeeper, average right now is $42, $45 an hour. So I'm not understanding why we're having a hard time. We are doing our job, our due diligence. I'm just saying on the other side, for bookkeepers, it's not, that's not enough money. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll go back to school and learn how to do bookkeeping. Okay. All right, and like the vice mayor, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And for, Mr. Mayor, if I can, further clarification, that money is separate from.
Oh, absolutely, yes,
from
that's separate.
that.
Right,
His item,
Done
he's paid out of line
contract.
320 on page 3. Auditors/accounting.
Okay. And we appreciate Mr. Lexev agreeing to work for $2,000 a month. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it, so. Okay, I'm just kidding. Ken, let's go to town manager, see what's a.
Okay. What you got? We're having fun at your expense, that's all.
I was saying thank you for agreeing to $2,000 a month. It's like, he wanted to counter. Oh, no, I didn't, so. Okay. All right.
Would've been
Scared
great.
him.
Okay, Ken.
So the salary for a potential bookkeeper, we did leave in salaries there in addition to money for the internal auditor. So just being transparent, there's money for both in there. Not anticipating the bookkeeper person coming on board anytime soon. Based on the luck that we've had, so. But that was it.
All righty. Okay, we're following you.
No, that's really it in that regard, just open for your questions.
And I did, and you, and the town manager and I did have conversations, I'm sure you all did on your one-on-ones. I see on page 5 where it has been teased up. I made earlier make mention of we don't know what's going to happen, with the referendum. So you'll see there on page 5 where it's been teased up that, God forbid, if it happens, then we got to make some decisions.
That's correct.
Yeah. And apologies to staff, as well, and, it's, anyway. It's really amazing, they could have, I guess in an open setting, it's never good to start something and don't finish it, so I'll finish it. So I'm saying, kind of tongue in cheek, that what the legislature could have done was given us all of the money they used to rename PBI and put it in our budget. We could have given staff raises and everything else. Isn't it amazing? Millions of dollars for that. And then they want to take away income from towns. Anyway, that's, let me get off the soapbox now.
Start preaching.
Yeah, let me get off the soapbox, so. All righty. Any other questions as it relates to the budget? Any other council comments or questions? Anything else from staff?
If, at council's pleasure, I'll take a minute or two to print off that proposed rates for utilities, or we can wait for 2 weeks, either way.
Or you
I'll-
can email
I'll
it.
print off a copy, or email it to you.
Okay.
And one last thing on that, in your manager's report, which I know everyone can't wait to dive into every Friday evening, you know that, there is a list, I've hit highlights in the manager's report, page 1. And this is for public consumption also. Just a list of the highlights in the budget. So everything that we've talked about tonight should be in that.
It is.
So, just for your knowledge.
And of course, as always, if there's any questions or comments, we'll all continue to review. We'll get with the town manager and And get those questions asked, have everything finalized before the final budget hearing. All righty, so with that, we can't go back other than to just say, thank you, guys. There are times when we make decisions, and I'm speaking generally now so we don't go back, where it doesn't sit well with us, but we have to look at what the policy of the town is, right? And so we each take that oath, and you hear it saying nationally, without fear or favor.
Amen.
Right, if you're in fear of losing your position because you make a decision, you don't need to be up here or in an elected position, and without favor.